Hi, I'm Linda Griffin, and I have a new book available from the Main Street Rag Bookstore at a special pre-order price. Reckless Disregard and Other Stories is a collection of 15 stories ranging from short shorts to the title novella. Although some of the stories have themes of grief, loss, and regret, the collection is not without touches of romance and humor. The story I'm going to read today was inspired by a dream or nightmare. The title is Weeds, and it's for all the gardeners out there. The weeds started in the flower bed, of course, but they didn't stay there. After 2 days of rain, they began to sprout in the hallway between the bedrooms. Pulling weeds out of carpet is an onerous job, let me tell you. In spite of my best efforts, they soon spread to the living room. It seemed that the only solution was to pull up the carpet, which is laid wall to wall in the hall, living room, and den. It was a big job, and the hardwood floors beneath had to be refinished, but when it was done I could finally breathe easier, until the weeds began to grow in the kitchen, at first around the edges of the vinyl flooring where they met the baseboards, and then, against all reason, pushing up through the tiles themselves. It was a disaster. They didn't match the color scheme at all, and the flooring was too new to be lightly replaced. Spraying weed killer in the house had never seemed a good idea, but in the kitchen it was unthinkable. There was nothing to do but pull them, and the more I pulled, the more sprouted up, almost overnight. We had been receiving occasional calls and letters from people wanting to buy our house as is, and I can tell you I was tempted. How the hell do weeds climb walls? I don't know, but they did. The paint began to peel around them, and I knew we would have to repaint when we finally eliminated the weeds. If we did. A bigger problem was the way they wrapped themselves around the pipes and clogged the plumbing. It was perhaps through the pipes that they spread from the kitchen to the hall bathroom and sprouted anew in the refinished hardwood. After they crept over 2 chairs, I was afraid to sleep, lest they bind me to my bed in the night. The house was becoming uninhabitable, but I was afraid to leave, lest the weeds, which had begun to take on the aspect of tall snakes, follow me outside. When I finally braced myself and opened the front door to go to the market, I almost fainted with the shock. It was like the day of the Triffids out there. Not just the entire yard and climbing the walls in such numbers that I was surprised I hadn't noticed any encroaching on the windows, but in the cracks of the sidewalk, more cracks than I remembered. Tall snakes slithering up over the roof, covering the solar panels in places, tangled around the satellite dish. And yes, behind the curtains, they were beginning to cover the windows as well. Sneaky of them to leave the windows till last so I wouldn't realize. That was crazy thinking, of course. Weeds are not sentient. Are they? Oh, shit! The weeds have tied the car to the driveway. They are wiry, tenacious, too thick to cut with the garden clippers. I took the axe to them. They didn't let go, but they screamed. Thank you for listening. Reckless Disregard and Other Stories is available from the Main Street Rag Bookstore at the link below. Thank you.